If you want to start a skincare brand, you need to hear this first. You can either go the custom formulation route or use a stock formula from a contract manufacturer. And as a cosmetic chemist, I would highly suggest that you go the custom formulation route. So let's talk about what that actually entails. In custom formulation, you are basically creating a product for some issue in the industry that you want to fix. When you actually go the stock formula route, you are just getting a random product and you are able to make like one or two changes to that stock formula. And you don't really get to actually create something that is going to make an impact in the market. With custom formulation, you are able to make an impact because this is a formula that is being created based off of your aesthetics, the actives you want to use, your marketing story. You are able to make adjustments throughout the entire process to create the product that you want to create. And this is where innovation and great ideas do come in. You have the freedom to create innovation in the beauty space. Now, with custom formulation, the way that it starts is you have to go ahead and find a lab and a cosmetic chemist that you can work with. So that is going to be the most important thing. Finding a cosmetic chemist who is able to take your vision and actually turn it into the product that you want. You want to work with a cosmetic chemist who has the knowledge in the product type that you want to create. So if you want to make something in a clean beauty space, you need a chemist who understands clean beauty and how to create products that will actually work and be compatible with the clean beauty standards that you want to appeal to, whether it's going to be Credo clean or you want to be clean at Sephora. All of these standards have their own regulations that define them as being clean. So you would want your chemist to be able to understand that and be able to create a product that is going to be sold exactly where you want it to be. You would also want to have a chemist who is knowledgeable about biotech if that is an avenue that you want to go into, that you want to create ingredients using biotechnology. So you want your chemist to understand that and how best you can use biotechnology in the products that you are creating for your customer base. I know some people can think that when you create a custom formula, all you're doing is taking a bunch of ingredients, adding them into a bowl and mixing it together. But formulating isn't that simple. After you find your cosmetic chemist, you need to be able to tell them your vision. And by telling them your vision, there's going to be a few steps that you have to go through. You want to fill out a product brief. That way you are able to exactly explain what your product is going to be, the claims you want to make, the ingredients you want to use, the ingredients you don't want to use, and the feel of the product. The aesthetic is literally one of the most important things because the consumers who purchase your product, they're going to feel it before anything. You can have the best actives in your product, but if the feel is trash, no one's going to buy it. So in order for the cosmetic chemist to be able to create the feel and texture that you want to be as detailed as possible in your brief to explain that. And a lot of chemists are going to ask for a benchmark. So a benchmark product is something that is already out on the market that you want to improve on. It's something that you like the texture of, or maybe like the claims that they're making, but I like how it performs. Or maybe you have a product that you like how it performs. There are many different benchmarks that you can use. There are benchmarks for fragrance, there are benchmarks for texture, there are benchmarks for performance. All of these things are going to be put together to create the exact product that you want to have. So when you're thinking about your benchmark, you want to think about the touch, the feel, the pickup, the dry down, how it applies. These are all things that you want to discuss with your chemist when you are developing the first initial samples that you are going to be sent. So maybe you want to create a light cream that is going to be able to apply and leave a dewy finish on the skin. Maybe you want a heavy moisturizing butter that is going to leave more of an occlusive layer on the skin. You're going to need to discuss all of these different aspects with your chemist so that way you again can create the product that is best for you and best for your client base. After you finalize the aesthetics of your product and the active ingredients you want to include, your chemist is going to go ahead and start writing the formula. And then while they're writing the formula, they're going to be making sure that all of the ingredients are going to be compatible with each other. So you're going to have some ingredients that maybe are anionic and some ingredients are cationic. If you're making a hair conditioner, you don't want to necessarily have ingredients like that in the same formula because it can be unstable. There are some ingredients that are cationic and anionic that can be put together because it creates a very specific and special structure. But for the most part, you can't do that. Even with moisturizers, there are going to be emulsifiers that are anionic, and then you won't be able to use them in some moisturizing products because it's going to cause the formula to fall apart. That is why your chemist, while they're writing the formula, they're going to make sure that all of these ingredients are compatible. They're going to make sure that the pH that you want and is going to be safe and effective on for the skin is going to be compatible with every ingredient in the formula. Different preservatives have a very specific pH that they can be used at, and you want to make sure that every ingredient that you have in that formula is going to be stable at that pH. And if it's not, then your chemist has to go back and choose a different preservative, or maybe change out your active ingredients for something that will be effective. After your chemist writes the formula and they check that each ingredient is at a safe an effective pH and there's not going to be any issues with that, they're also going to check and make sure that all of the regulatory standards that you want, depending on if you're doing clean beauty or not, or even regulatory standards for the EU or the US, that every ingredient is going to be used at the recommended use level and not more than that, because there are rules that govern the safety of cosmetics. So then we want to make sure that the ingredients that we use in your products are going to be safe and that you can't use them above a certain level. Your chemist is going to make sure that the formula they write for you is going to be able to be used wherever you want to sell your actual product. Now, after writing the formula, it's time to start batching the formula. And batching the formula just means that your chemist takes their formula that they wrote and make it. So whether you're making a lotion or a shampoo or anything really, it starts with a formula and then your chemist goes into the lab, makes it. And then depending on how that first batch comes out, they might have to make more revisions to it, right? And those revisions are going to be based off of the initial aesthetics that you came up with, as well as what the product came out from the first batch. So if you wanted a cream, thick, rich cream, but you end up getting a very fluid lotion, well, that's not what you asked for. Your chemist is going to go back and adjust the formula in order to give you that rich cream that you did ask for. And then they're going to feel it and assess it and make sure that the pickup and the feel and the after feel is exactly what you want. And if it's not, we go ahead and make more changes to it until we are able to give you the sample that you are going to love. Then you're going to be sent that sample, and then you're able to feel it out, test it out. Does it work the way you want it to work? Is this the pickup you wanted? Is this the aesthetics you wanted? Is this the afterfeel you wanted? Are you having the experience that you want your customers to experience when they actually use your product? And if it's not exactly what you want, you give your chemist feedback. Your chemist is going to take that feedback and then go back into the lab and make it again, right? And then tries to match it based off of your benchmark, based off of the information you gave during this revision, based off of your brief. They're going to go to the lab and make you more samples based off of all of that information and all of that feedback they were given. And hopefully within a few more revisions and a few more samples, you are going to have the final product that you want. And when you do have that product, your chemist is going to go ahead and start the stability testing phase. And that is something that is so important. And a lot of brands don't want to do stability testing because it does push back your timeline. But you do not want to send out a product that is going to fall apart. Because in stability, we are testing for viscosity, we are testing for pH changes, and we are testing to see if the product is separating, if there's having any issues. In stability testing, we are testing your product at elevated temperatures. We're also testing it during freezing because we want to force the product to experience some conditions that it might experience during transit, during the time where it is going to be transferred from the manufacturing facility to your warehouse, and then from your warehouse to your customer. The product is going to experience a lot of different changes, and you want to simulate that as best as we can in order to make sure that the product is going to be stable and your customer is going to get it exactly the way that they purchase it. No one wants to get a formula that is going to separate because there are some brands out there who skip stability testing and clients are not going to be happy. And if your clients aren't going to be happy, then you're going to have to go ahead and now do damage control. And that's going to waste more time and money when you could have easily just fixed it from the beginning by doing stability testing. And during stability testing, it's going to take about 3 months to a year, where the chemist is going to evaluate and make sure that your formula is stable. And you also want to go ahead and do preservative testing to make sure that the preservative system in the formula is robust enough to make sure that no microbes are going to grow in your formula. So with custom formulation, you're not just getting a formula, you're getting a whole experience. You're getting a stable product. You're paying to make sure that your product is tested and it passes stability and you have the exact texture and claims that you want to make. That is what custom formulation is. Yes, it is more expensive than using a formula that the contract manufacturer has that they give to all of their customers. Really, anyone who wants to use a formula and wants to buy it, they can purchase that formula and sell it to their customers. But the thing is, they don't own that formula. With custom formulation, you own your formula. If you work with a cosmetic chemist who gives you the IP to that formula, and if you are working with a cosmetic chemist, you want to make sure that you own the formulation, because you want to be able to take this formula and be able to move it to any manufacturer wherever you are and not have to reformulate or have any issues. And if you want to make changes like a fragrance change, or maybe you want to add an active, or you want to do another SKU, you own this formula and can make whatever changes you want to that product, so that way you can have a new product to give to your customers. But with those changes, you do want to make sure that you do stability testing again, as well as preservative testing, because things can change and can affect the base formula if you make minor tweaks here and there. And custom formulation comes with a lot of problem solving, things that you wouldn't necessarily think about or would be able to do on your own. But because you have a cosmetic chemist who is on your team, who is by your side, who is going to be doing all the problem solving for you, you don't have to think about it, because it's so easy to just kind of find a formula online, because there's so many DIYers. No shade to them, I love them, but there's so many DIYers who just kind of put formulas together, put ingredients together and call it a formula, and they sell it to you. They don't know how to fix the formula. Some of them don't know how to fix the formula if there were issues that came about. And most of them, I doubt, are getting their formula tested to make sure that it passes stability, as well as it is passing preservative testing. So you want to make sure that you work with the cosmetic chemist to create the custom formulas for your product line. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and make sure you leave a like and subscribe, so that way you can get more videos just like this. And leave me a comment. I would love to know if you're starting a beauty brand, and if you are, what do you wish you knew from a cosmetic chemist who is actually working in the industry? So my name is Sanley, and I will catch you in the next video, which is right there. You should go watch it. What are you still doing? Go. It's literally right there. You know you want to.